Our next award is the Cornerstone Award, created in 2011 to honor those who have made a significant impact on LaSalle athletics behind the scenes. Past winners of this award have shown unwavering dedication to ensuring the success of our teams. Without their efforts, LaSalle athletics would not have achieved the elite status it enjoys today. To introduce this year's Cornerstone Award winner, I'm proud to welcome Jenny Richmond, daughter of our Cornerstone Award winner, Denny Heffron, class of 1965.
Growing up, there were two rules in our house. No bomber blue and no jeans at baseball practice. Lancer red was the only color. Does it not work? So when they started building LaSalle, my grandma told my dad that he had to go to LaSalle. And when all of his brothers and sisters went to Coleraine, so he got a job and paid for it himself and was second graduating class of LaSalle. So 45 years ago, someone asked him to come work in the press box and at a football game, and he never left. Back then, I remember going to every single football game. And I don't know why I keep... Okay. So Friday nights were always about football. And I think the reason he continued to work in the press box is because he had 2 sons that went to LaSalle and 6 grandsons that went to LaSalle. His expectation was that one of them would play football and he'd be able to be in the press box, but none of them played. They played every other sport except for football. So, his youngest is a junior this year, so I think he finally gave up the thought of any of them playing football. So he has spent the last 45 years as a spotter in the press box at every home Lancer football game. So he has dedicated that time to Lancer sports, and I'd like to introduce my dad.
Out here. First of all, I'd like to thank the committee and Brian for this award. And as Jenny alluded to, 45 years ago, I was in the wrong place at the right place at the wrong time. Because back then I was taking my oldest son to every home football game down at Old Tractor Stadium. Wound up being Quarter Tech and wound up being CDC. So anyway, we'd go every home game, sit underneath the press box, and one night, George Rance, I don't know if anybody knows him here, George Rance ran the clock, and Roy Beasley did the scoreboard. Roy Beasley couldn't be there that night. So George, he saw me, and he asked me to come up and run the scoreboard. So I did. It was undercover. You know, if it was raining, it was fine. But anyway, for the first year, I did it off and on. I'd either run a scoreboard or the clock. The guy that was announcing was Bob Baumgartner. He was the CYO coordinator for baseball, and I knew him. Anyway, he used to send down to the field to ask the opposing team if they could send up a spotter so that they could get numbers and names and stuff like that, and Bob didn't have to look at programs. And more often than not, nobody showed up. So he was doing that by himself. One night, I was up in the press box working the clock, and he asked me if I wanted to do it. The rest is history. 45 years. Every home game, with the exception of about 7. 3 of them when I had my heart attack, and other times when they were, on vacation or miss an early season game for one reason or another. I can tell you, I wouldn't miss it for the world on Friday night. I used to spot at every stadium that we went to, home games. I did them at Coleraine, I did them at Oak Hills when LaSalle didn't have a stadium. And when we got our stadium, it made it easy. So, to answer the final question, if I had it to do over again, I'd definitely do it.